Hey, we're live.
That's not how it starts.
Go ahead, Jono.
What the fuck? You were gonna do it.
What? I thought you were doing it.
Jesus Christ.
we are tWoTcast, episode 302.
Like, what the
You're listening to tWoTcast.
What's happening? Where's the song? We had this.
All right, everyone, shut the fuck up.
Wheel of Time, reread podcast, explicit and R freaking rated. John is the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man, he's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast!
That intro was a metaphor for this whole show.
We like to be very cerebral and self-aware, so we do shit like that all the time. Yeah, you're on mute.
It kind of was, wasn't it?
Yes. Do you want me to do this, or you want to?
You guys are embarrassing me.
What the fuck, Jono?
Did you not see your own text? You said you were going to do the intro. Fuck it, we're live.
Just say the words. Just somebody say the words.
You're listening to tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time read podcast, and the Watch podcast. Well, watch stream?
Yeah.
Stream watch.
Viewers.
Yes. I'm Jono. With me is Joe.
Oh, hey, Jono.
And Tom.
Study your math, I guess. It's a fucking disaster.
Study your technology, because we got to fucking learn that too.
Oh, man.
Barely started.
But we can only get better from here.
I don't know about that. It can get worse.
Well, Joe, tell us what we're going to be doing today. I understand there is, in fact, something for us to actually discuss called show. What is show?
Can you believe it's fucking out? Can you believe it?
Actually, it is kind of fucking insane, yeah. I mean,
weird.
like, sort of mind blown by it. But, I mean, I guess what you're talking about is the general show outline that we were just discussing?
No, as in literally we're about to talk about a show called The Wheel of Time, which is still, even though it's been coming out, is fucking exciting. Like Tom said, can you believe it? No, really can't. And yet, I have to. Because seeing is believing.
It's a good thing we didn't quit this show after the book series finished.
It's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, it's actually a bad thing. If we would have, I'd be asleep on my couch right now. It'd be incredible.
There's that too. Yeah. And we wouldn't be sitting here making the same joke week after week, which at this point probably seems like a plant. Like, oh, look at that, they always fuck up the intro. No, those are legitimate non-gaffes or non-intentional gaffes.
At this point, we should do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, we do.
Kind of blew our cover.
Guys, we do. You know,
it's on purpose for hilarious banter and really
hey,
sets
so
the tone.
what are you boys doing other than watching the Wheel of Time on repeat?
Watching the Wheel of Time on repeat. That's about it. Yeah.
I watched football yesterday. How many times have you seen the first episode
of football?
3.
No. I think I just finished the 4th.
I've only seen.
I've only watched the second one twice, but Lauren wants to watch it with me, so I'm going to watch it a third time for sure.
And then again Thursday I watched it, and then I downloaded it for the plane Friday morning, and then I just watched it again.
All right,
that's interesting. I mean, I know we had our spoiler-free review.
Yeah,
and
last week.
Tonight we're going to break it down spoiler-wise for the show, but also we're going to kind of tack on a segment where we spoiled the books and the show. So we'll put warnings up and let everybody know what we're doing at this time. But like, as of right now, we're just spoiling the actual
first 2 episodes
show, and we're not going to discuss the books in any way, shape, or form. And then at some point, we'll switch over and discuss the books and the TV show. And if you haven't read the books at that point, get the fuck out.
I mean, I might, but spoiled everything.
Yeah. So that being said, in our spoiler-free review of the episodes 1 and 2, we kind of all said that we really enjoyed it. But what did you guys think now that you can finally say words?
Yeah, really fucking good.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I there are some things I think are kind of odd stylistic choices, both in the first couple of episodes and kind of just generally without getting into the book piece of it. But I think it does a pretty good job of bringing you into what is the Wheel of Time a little bit, what is the dragon, what is I mentioned it several times last week. I think that second scene of just that weird random male Chandler who's already going insane. I think that's a really cool scene. I wish they'd actually kind of hype it up a little bit more, almost showing how crazy he was going and really kind of driving home. This is what happens. Like I always mentioned, but I want more of that shit because I think that
I don't know. I like that it was subtle. I didn't want it to be like too like. I don't know. He saw spiders crawling all over everybody all the time or something. But
works.
Just the fact that he had an imaginary friend was like enough, I think, to get the point across.
I want to be
clear.
Like
really going deep into that category yet.
Like real clear that I really enjoyed it because like as I was just watching it and thinking about the stuff I wanted to talk about, it's either stuff I want to make fun of because it's hilarious or like changes we want to talk about, and then I was like. It's going to sound like I hated this show when we're done, I feel like.
You know what I was laughing about, Tom, when I was rewatching episode 2 is during I think Jono had hung up by that point during the spoiler-free review, but me and Taffy, and you and I were talking about how Lan is just like standing by a tree at one point.
That's my favorite thing. I don't know why he's doing it. I've got that. Like,
I know why. Like upon a rewatch, I was like,
he's trying to make sure they
it's obvious. But like it's the part where Moraine's like, "Fuck off, everybody! I'm leaving whether you come or not." And then he like rides off with her, but then circles back around and like makes sure that they leave and follow her.
But also his horse isn't
but it's still funny. But it's still funny. I know what it is now. It's so funny.
It's really.
How did they not notice him? He doesn't blend in very well.
I know. He's just standing next to a tree. He's not hiding.
Maybe in this one,
he's like 20 yards behind them and just gone.
They don't have the CGI budget for the water.
What were his next steps if they hadn't gone by?
I know. He would have just been like, "Hey, follow her, you idiots!" Just from behind a tree. Hey, you're making the wrong decision. Oh,
I know. Like, she just said, like, go wherever you want. I don't give a fuck. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, I mean, she didn't really mean that.
Yeah, people say things that don't mean time.
Need you to come back. It's the fate of the world.
It was a ploy.
Not a big deal.
You played her bluff, and you won.
But
we still need you to come with us. That's so good. Anyway, all right. You guys want to talk about episode 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Spoiler free, that is.
Yes.
For the most part.
So I'm going to put this up in the corner here. Spoilers, but for only the television show.
And only the first 2 episodes. We're not going to talk about 3, right?
No, we're not going to. That's tomorrow.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. Join us on our live stream tomorrow when we regularly record.
Yeah. We're got to really catch up. Thanks, Amazon, for dropping 3 episodes of the show we've been eagerly awaiting for years. You really fucked up our recording schedule, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. It's very frustrating.
I know, it's just all around the holidays.
If you had seen our dumb text thread about like how irritated and how much work this is to schedule, like you would have thought that we were probably even more dysfunctional than you probably assume. Just because like, I can't. I'm home that day.
I literally I was like, man, we can't find any time to record. And then at some point after we had just tried to like convene all 3 of our schedules several times, I was just like, listen, I'm really annoyed at Amazon for dropping 3 episodes on one day.
It's the dumbest thing. It's like 3 best friends that anyone could ever have who can't fucking sit down for an hour and a half to go drink some like nope, busy.
I barely made this.
Yeah. Tom's actually
mostly because of my hangover. But whatever.
A lot of people are saying hi. Stephen Hall, aka Virtual Hall, is here.
Wow.
Let's get everybody here.
Hey, Willie Stickman's here.
We're gonna start talking about this episode.
No.
Yeah, sure.
No,
Are we actually spoilers? We're not talking about the show.
Yeah, jokes. We're just gonna talk about our personal lives.
We're talking about our difficulty.
Yeah,
it's our difficulty in getting our 3 grown-ass men schedules together. When we were drunk idiots, not knowing what we were doing 10 years ago, We had all the free time in the world.
Hey, I could drive over drunk.
Now it's a little more difficult. We have real jobs.
Literally,
to wake up in the morning.
Literally every day. You want to do the podcast today?
It's
Sure. I
upsetting.
don't have anything going on.
Yeah, what the fuck ever.
Why not?
I mean, let's get drunk and do a podcast.
How did we get married?
I don't know.
Not a very good question. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it makes
probably
me think
not.
less of my wife.
Probably-
every
I mean,
time.
Lauren
not.
was there from day one, so I mean,
I don't think we need to pick at that too much. Well,
it's you guys that were surprising. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom, I know how we got married. We're like incredibly good looking.
that's true. The camera doesn't
can't
even do it
speak for
justice. And I guess episode
Will
4
it
is going to
better
come
now?
out at 7 p.m. on Thanksgiving. How do I get it? We're hosting Thanksgiving. How do I get everybody out of the house? We're eating at 6.
Undercook the turkey.
for you, I
Tom,
guess.
Oh, that's true. No, burn the turkey, and then the firemen come and hopefully have everything wrapped up by 7.
And they could be handsome firemen too.
Oh man.
It's like, get out.
All right, so
here.
I broke down episode. I mean, I have scene by scene like a crazy person because I'm insane.
Yeah, I did.
Do you guys
I
want to
just-
talk about episode 1?
Yeah, let's do
Oh,
it. That's
nice,
too
Jonah.
much, Jonah. That's too much. First scene. What do you think about the first scene? They're just getting dressed. She's getting dressed.
I called this scene "Moraine Goes to War," and I just like that she said many years men thought they could contain the Dark One.
It's
And
funny.
I just like that she says the arrogance. That was kind of like the best line of that.
That scene almost seems like it should be part of the credits every week, less than it would be
Yeah.
like the opening of the show.
I don't hate that because I mean that's realistically drive that home that this is what happened to break the
Yeah.
world with a little bit of nuance in between. My biggest takeaway was I don't know why, but there's something funny that she wears suspenders. I don't know what it is, but like every time I see like a little peek of that when she's like adjusting her jacket and whatever, like later on, I don't know what it is. Like I never
It's not
once.
suspended. Is it? It's like a holster.
Well, whatever.
It almost did look like she had little guns. And
It's like a shoulder holster. Doesn't she have like an angriel in there? And she just like
Johnny, you don't want your ass out if you're looking for the Dragon Reborn. You're gonna really kind of ruins the mystique of the Aes Sedai if you're just like your pants are falling down. It's not gonna work.
Well, you've got the probably more complete notes.
That probably would have convinced Matt.
Leandrin on the hunt. There's a crazy man. She kills him.
Seems more like
Gentles him?
yeah. I don't think she kills him. Although, was Leand? Well, that's a book question. Never mind about Leandrin's ties.
They can do stuff with the power a lot easier and more powerfully in the show. I feel like Leandrin just casually collapsing a cliff to block this guy's path. I was just like, I'm not wrong, right? That's different from the books.
No, I would disagree.
I mean,
I think
it
it almost takes too long to do. And again, not trying to spoil book stuff,
Yeah.
but I think it takes too long for certain weaves to happen.
I mean, that's not a book spoiler to critique the use of the one power. It's not like you're giving away a plot.
How?
Point.
Why not wrap him up in air?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like
Why are
that
you
scene-
blowing up the countryside? Those are
Shit.
really,
Maybe
really nice.
she didn't like that pass. Through that.
Maybe it's a metaphor.
She had twofold.
It's the real two birds, one stone situation. She's like,
Yeah,
I've always wanted to knock this fucker
She's
down.
like, I've always wanted to close up this fucking trading path. I hate this
And
path.
path is a metaphor for how
Some
just
farmer's
kind of-
on his way back home later in the day, like, what the fuck?
I've got a great A.
I mean,
How's he getting home?
there's no one else here
From
is
markets.
awesome, as we kind of already touched on that. But there's no one
Joe
else here
Buckley
is
did.
kind of awesome. And then it's and then I love Moraine just up on the hilltop, just looking down, just being like, it's not him. And Land's like,
You sure?
sure, it's not him. He's born at the right time.
Land's just trying to go home from work early. No, that's him. We're
That's-
done.
Just trying to clock out.
Well, we tried. So now it's
I don't
time to
have to
go
do this
home.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been on the road for a while. That's make my life a lot easier if that was him.
Yeah. So being episode 1, we didn't get the proper intro. We just got the quick logo reveal, and then we're with
Yeah.
the women's circle scene with the Queen. And
But wait,
gets
you wanna go
pushed
back
off,
already?
oh god damn it!
I
Sean.
did
we're
not.
not going back.
So there are two things cool though at the very end. Like she says, the rumors of Fort Taviran in the Two Rivers. I love the Fort Taviran. We've talked for years about how look, Egwene and others are very,
Yeah.
very important. On the other hand, I hate the idea of rumors of.
Yeah,
because
what is that?
Yeah, who's the rumor monger doing that one? Who was the ad wizard? It's just
Sen Bowie, obviously everyone knows. He's a
No.
gossip.
Nobody in the Two
He's the
Rivers is
down
like,
gossip.
can you believe we have 4 Taviran living here? Fucking
Every
crazy.
single fucking time he's at the bar,
Tell
he's like, hey,
everyone
we
you
got 4
see.
taverns, and they're like, shut up, knobbly knees.
I don't even know what tavern are. I thought that was weird. I'm glad you brought that up. All right.
Thank you.
God damn it. It was worth it going back.
It's like a challenge flag. I get a certain amount, but that one worked. Yeah.
That's the last time.
Oh,
So this women's circle, like rite of passage in the river, they kind of imply that some people don't come back from this, right?
It's got that kind of like heaviness to it. Now, obviously, we've got zero, examples of such, but yeah, it does seem, hope you swim and learn to relax in this giant, again, metaphor really for channeling later on too, that somehow works perfectly with this.
And it appears, does every woman join the women's circle or only certain?
Well, I guess there's a question between women's circle and the braid, right? I mean, just because you've got a braid doesn't mean that. And also, is it just me or is Joe not moving and he's stuck about to like lick some ass?
No, just ignore him.
Okay,
You're supposed to vamp when stuff like that happens. We could have just kept talking. You didn't have to point it out.
Well, I was just not
Showmanship,
sure.
Jono.
Okay, well, it's my first time on a stream. Months.
I mean, I could hear you.
But when she eventually comes back, everyone's like, "Oh, you made it! Oh, thank God!" We were starting to get worried, and I'm like, "The women drown doing this?"
My dad did the same thing when I hit puberty.
Threw you in the river?
Yeah.
I feel like he did that every birthday.
And then congratulated me on still being here. So it's been I empathize with her. It's a fun rite of passage.
Swim.
So then we go into Edmonds Field itself, right? Oh no, it's next is Tam.
We go to Rand and Tam.
Tam and Rand on the road.
Carry out Thor was a drunk.
Yeah. Well, that says she liked to stay home drinking. That doesn't mean she's a drunk.
She liked to drink at home by herself, just brandy. Don't bring that to town. I'm drinking a whole barrel.
That sounds. sounds fine.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And now we know how she died. Cirrhosis of the liver.
She had the wasting sickness.
Oh.
No, that's called cirrhosis. Yeah, that's what that was. So I found it an interesting. There's no. I do miss the writer that Rand. Because Rand pulls out his fucking bow and arrow, but I miss the writer that's not there.
Yeah, I was surprised because
especially considering Rafe obviously had the storyboard to do it.
I think I read or heard somewhere him saying like that's one of his favorite scenes in the entire series. So I was surprised there too. But I guess the way they ended up making the mirror draw, like that thing can't pass for human, even with the
you would notice that.
I mean, he's basically Voldemort with no eyes. He kind of stands out. Actually, when Lan walks in with his hood down, do you feel like they're like it's a midral? Like do you think that's what their brains are thinking? Because
I think that's what the vibe was supposed to be. Name yourself, stranger. Guy you never met, someone else.
I've heard "Name Yourself, Stranger" 3,000 times in the last 2 months. I feel like you've seen the clips, seen the show like endlessly.
So yeah, Edmonds Field unloading the wagons. I wrote Coplans and the Congers just like to drink. Turns out they're not bad people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for a guy who loved to drink as much as he did, Robert Jordan did seem to cast some aspersions on these dudes.
They like to party, and clearly, I forget who comes up to Egwene first. Like she's not in the women's circle. She's got no braid.
Yeah, she doesn't care. And she's like, "You're drinking with us," and she's like, "Okay, all right." And later on, Neve's like, "Okay, let's drink," and I was like, "So they're awesome people? I thought they were horrible people. My mistake." I mean, Robert Jordan made it seem like they were really horrible people.
Matt's already gambling.
Badly. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we talk about the fact we don't really know what the fuck happens with Barney Harris, the actor for Matt. He steals like all the scenes.
Nor will we probably ever know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if the show takes off and it's super popular, there's probably going to be a lot of articles about it when season 2 starts, and people are like, "What the fuck?"
Let's just get
the general public has no idea that Barney Harris is not on the show in season 2.
Yeah, that's true.
The Pete Best.
That's where we find out Perrin's married.
Yeah,
and I gotta tell you, in the theater, we're like 5 minutes into the show, and you're married, and I was like, I think I'm out. I was just like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, I mean, they aged them up for the show, which I like. That's a change I like. So they aged them up for the show, but then also because I was saying this to you and Taffy, Tom, but like, or I don't know, Jono, I have no idea if you were there or not. I was drunk. Sorry,
I'm still here.
But like, I said this to, but I was like, I kind of like that change. I sort of always pictured them older in my head when I read the books anyway. Like, it's not like it wasn't weird to me when they were like, oh, we're gonna make them early 20s. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I think they're still 20.
But I mean,
right?
but they're old.
Nave's 25 and she's 5 years older.
Yeah, they're 20 as opposed to like 17, 18.
Yeah, that's really
So
not.
it's like only 2 or 3 year difference. But
I guess in a backwater village like the Two Rivers, though, you're like on your way
but
to
by
retirement
20,
at
you're
20.
you're
you're
getting
third
married. You're
kid.
getting married at 20. Yeah,
Maybe even your second
you
wife.
gotta start having kids so they can work the farm. If you know what I mean. Take care of the horses.
Yeah.
We also found out that soldiers are going south through the Two Rivers. I don't like that whatsoever.
To Gildan.
Yeah.
Is that how they say it?
That bothered me because that's the whole point. Is they're backwaters as fuck. Why is there anyone coming through?
Yeah, there should only be the one way in and out of the Two Rivers, the ferry.
Yeah.
Matt reveals that Rand fucks sheep, which I thought was interesting.
And that is interesting. And they're also it makes sense. I mean, can you imagine like? Well, I guess they're not quite like cashmere wool, but I mean,
he's all alone in the mountains.
If that's
not much of a reveal. He's a shepherd.
That's what we do.
That's what they do.
Wouldn't it be great if Land's nickname for him in the series versus the books was Sheep Fucker?
Sheep Fucker.
Well, that's a spoiler for the book. It's not Sheep Fucker.
I haven't heard Sheep Herder once. I don't think this whole time. Yeah. Do we want to cover Moraine and Land entering? We've covered that.
No.
In
we talked about it. We talked about it.
All right. And then
I just wrote Moraine and Land arrive. I mean, we've already discussed it. Yeah. So you want to let's get to so the next scene is the forge and it's Perrin and Layla.
Yeah, well, right before we get there, it's Nynaeve is talking to Perrin. Like,
she mommies Perrin and sends him home.
Yeah, like, why are you out? You should be home with your wife. And I'm like, why isn't the wife there? And there's clearly some kind of tension that's never explained.
Yeah, she's
she's mad at him.
As she should be.
But why?
You don't go drinking on Beltane or winter's night.
Look what happened here. Everybody's partying. It's a holiday, nah.
So I have like a weird is it Egwene related? Because it's like her big day, so to speak, and she's like avoiding the party even though it's winter night also or whatever. But it's the night before winter night. So it's really just Egwene's big day.
Or I guess
it's Christmas Eve.
I've seen the theory going around
winter
a little
night's
bit
the next night.
that she's a dark friend.
I didn't get that at all at first, but when we get there and there is when she's holding the axe towards Perrin when Perrin kills her,
she's running at Perrin with the axe held up over her hand and over her head in both hands like this, like running towards Perrin, and there's nothing to attack.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that. So
that's the only explanation or reason why you would think that. There's no other indication other than
and having just watched it, the angle a little bit, she could have been going after the one Perrin was killing, I guess, even though it was
maybe
really already very dead.
Yeah, Perrin's on stroke number 50 through the damn thing. So I mean,
also if she is a dark friend and she's like, I married this guy thinking, not knowing whether who knows who the Dragon Reborn is, so to speak, and then just going I married this guy the Trollics are attacking. Now's my chance to murder him. Why then and there? It doesn't really make sense. Dark friend wise, and
if she was a dark friend, they probably wouldn't be attacking her as well. Maybe.
Yeah,
I understand the change. I don't think I like how they got there. I don't know if we needed the wife because obviously, accidentally killing your wife is a much better motivation than you once thought about maybe killing Egwene to save her life.
Yeah. Well, that's the show for this week.
That's the show. Show's over. Thank you. We're not going to say anything better than that.
Jesus.
I mean, you kind of nailed it.
Should probably actually read what was said there for the podcast, but fuck it.
So the only other change,
Perrin's marry, fuck, kills is just Layla.
So the next change is the only other one that kind of made me recoil. It was just are the coffins just
shit,
fucking shitheads?
Yeah,
I wrote Matt's family. His dad's a piece of shit. His mom's a drunk. He protects his sisters.
Yeah.
Moving on.
You know what my biggest problem with his dad hitting on women outside the bar is that it kind of ruins the feeling of the entire Two Rivers. You're not getting away with that in the book, Two Rivers from the book.
Yeah,
wouldn't just everyone know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's flirting?
They're the Coplans.
Yeah,
the horses.
Matt Copland. Yeah. And like the whole the vibe's a little bit off, I think, for like the winter night desperate, because like the whole thing is like there hasn't been spring yet, right? In the beginning of the books, like everything feels kind of just like tense because who knows what the fuck's going to happen. But then instead everything looks pretty like, for the most part, going well, right? They're feeding like out on the green, and there's not like a feeling of like want and desire for like we're about to go poor or we're about to get hungry. So it's just different.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest change that I hated the most. They just completely wiped out one of the three prongs of the Dark One's plan to take over the world. Weather.
Right.
Actually, no one's gotten a headache yet either. What's going on?
Moraine may have when because she's probably tired. Those tired headaches that they'll take some out of you.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, so that's possible.
Yeah, the weather issues.
Yeah. And then I guess we get a change that bothered people that I don't give a shit about. It lends more weight to their breakup, but we get to the part where Rand and Egwene
guys, changes is kind of straying into book territory.
All right, I guess.
All right, we get a closing down the inn, basically, is the next scene. And then I just wrote, Rand, why don't you fuck Egwene?
I know. Do the parents know what's about to happen here? They're like, why don't you guys do the dishes, if you know what I mean? I'm like,
Mary and Elvira is just basically like, all right, why don't you guys just have sex, and I'll see you later. See you in the morning.
Get those soapy, wizened hands inside my new daughter, like my newly braided daughter.
She's a woman now.
Yeah.
That's how you finish the ceremony.
Yeah.
My notes said we're on two separate paths, and I just wrote soap poisoning, and I was like, why did I write soap poisoning? And I think Rand says we're on two separate paths, and then Egwene says, or Egwene's like, it was, or something. She just says it was, like ellipses. My brain just filled it in. All right, back time with Lan. You guys want to talk about Lan's ass?
I think you just
do. That was like some soapy cum water. Like it was a very interesting color for like what I assume is just.
It was milky lavender water.
Yeah. What did I say?
Cum.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I like it. Yeah. Spoilers for the TV show. We're gonna spoil the whole TV show.
Just like the wisdom's sacred pool.
Yeah, which is also like a odd thing for me, but that's okay. But back to Lan's ass, like you said. Daniel Henney's Heine is my vision board.
You just change your name to Henny's Heine.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm making a separate podcast called Henny's Heinecast, and that's it. It's just the whole time.
Jono, find out what's Daniel Henney's Twitter handle and just change it to Daniel Heine.
I don't know why.
And just start tweeting out pictures of his ass.
I must be a little delirious. I'm laughing at this way too much.
It'll be great.
And then, all right, so we find out Nynaeve asked Egwene to be the apprentice, like for the two rivers?
Or just to apprentice to be a wise woman in general, and then or wisdom in general, and then move on, or take over and then Nynaeve would 25.
Well, that's what happens in the books.
The wisdoms have a really good retirement program. They're out at 30.
It's
over.
Or really early.
The one that taught Nynaeve left town when she was 13. Go to the White Tower.
Yeah. Which I've got some bizarre thoughts on that, because that's
back a fucking failure.
Like that's tantamount to like that. Yeah, walk for 3 months and you have to come back 3 months, like 6 months later. Well, whoops. But if you're going to the White Tower, that means that you're aware that listening to the wind is on par, at least to some degree, with being able to channel and become an Aes Sedai.
Or maybe she could. It's rare. It's rare that there's wisdom channelers. So maybe it's just she couldn't channel. Or do we think the White Tower turns away the pores?
Well, that's another piece, though, right? And it's hard to answer that fucking seriously, because I've got like
answers.
The answer is yes, and of course. But for our spoiler shit, which comes up in 15 minutes, that to me has so many big repercussions. Like of the tower pushing women away who can channel.
Very strange. But that like throwaway line almost like really changes a lot, I guess. But we don't want to go too into that, or Joe will get upset.
Yeah.
The Myrddraal comes to town.
Woo!
Oh, Myrddraal comes to town.
He just walks into the middle of the fucking square, and then that's
I wrote Egwene feels the Myrddraal. Do you feel like Egwene feels the Myrddraal?
That's actually what Rand's penis looks like. Is it the very end?
I kind of wish Thane would have gotten to town before the Myrddraal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of random.
So the next morning, though, speaking of Thane is like he also steals the scene. Like he's just got like this like.
Yeah, Padden Thane is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he's just mischievous as fuck looking.
Like really, really like that guy.
Yeah.
And I said it like a million years ago when he was cast. I was like, have you seen him smile? Because he looks like he can pull off crazy smile really well. And then we just watched the episode.
See Matt walk up to that wagon. We're losing Joe again.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt walks up to the wagon, and Fane's like, what do you got for him? And he like looks to the right. There's no one there. And then they walk around to the back of the wagon, and then clearly in the background you can see like 5 people standing around talking, and that's where they do their deal.
Yeah.
I was like, why'd you look for people if you clearly don't give a shit?
Well,
they're right there.
Walking out. Like that, he's got to have his fence people watching to make sure that no one else is watching.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, and it's the fucking bracelet he'd stolen from someone they were having drinks with last night. Like that's not even clever.
That was upsetting though too. I was just like, Matt's just stealing it from people in the village now.
It's okay.
And again, that kind of changes the complexion of Emmons Field. Like, first of all, how's that girl not like? Well, Matt obviously took this.
Yeah.
I would. The lack
that
of
was
ghost
my first thought too. Actually, it was like Matt. Matt clearly went to flirt with that girl, stole her bracelet, and it's gone forever. Like she never finds it.
Yeah,
it's not in the Wine Spring Inn's Lost and Found.
She wakes up, she's definitely like that motherfucker, and going to confront him like immediately.
Yeah. Again, there's what 50, 60 people in this fucking village. I mean, there should be more presumably, but you only see.
Or is he that good at stealing stuff that they're just like, well, it couldn't have been Matt. He's so nice. He's never stolen anything in his life.
The poorest guy in the town who's from a lascivious kind of fucked up family. Yeah, it's definitely not him.
Also, that makes it seem like Padden Thane comes to town like once a week.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's like, what do you got for me? He's like, this bracelet I just stole last night. And he's like, well, what have you been doing for the whole rest of the year?
Yeah, imagine it just been like, here's my year's worth of shit that I've stolen.
Why don't you have a bag?
Yeah. Santa's fucking.
That's a solid point, Tom.
And if he wouldn't,
so Padden Thane arrives. I wrote Matt and Padden Thane trade goods. Moraine Ocean's 11's it. I don't know why I wrote that. I think she just says. I think like Land's like, do you know who it is? You don't know who it is? All right, we'll call it 4. Yeah. Something like that. Like he literally says about the 4 kids. He's like, do you know which one it is? Grease man? You don't know which one it is?
We'll get
all right.
Rand and Egwene crying on a mountain.
Beautiful scenery.
Yeah, Rand talks with Egwene is all I wrote. I wrote he laments his life in the 2 rivers,
Yeah. Where they chose to film is fucking beautiful. Like, there's no doubt.
We're talking over each other like assholes. Take turns.
But now I'm just going to wait. Oh, that's just them breaking up, like, really.
Yeah, it did feel like them breaking up. Yeah, I agree.
Did they have sex afterwards?
No.
They had sex the night before.
They break up, and they leave, and at least part of Rand's got to be thinking the whole time, it's like, well, she can't be the wisdom anymore. This is dope. And then she basically is just like, no, we're still broken up. We're extra broken up. How about that?
Oh, man.
Got even more. And then we talked about it a little bit already, but then you get Nynaeve and Moraine talking to each other. Why do you have to clean the rocks?
I don't know. I don't know anything of the weird. The water ceremonies that are happening just seem a little odd to me.
Yeah. What's on those rocks that she's cleaning?
Maybe it was kind of like a bukkake party.
Oh, that explains the water.
Yeah.
Bukkake party.
It's the best explanation I've heard yet.
What's all over these rocks? Moraine just walks in and goes,
Why is the water white?
like steps back,
You know.
doesn't kind of avoids things.
You know. Then they
We're definitely-
literally listen to the wind.
Yeah, that's true. The wind sounds wrong. Land sees a dragon fang. That's fucking awesome. Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, there's sheep corpses. Rand really went to town after Egwene broke up with him. Like, rage fucked those sheep. in the
He
woods.
can't leave them alive after he fucks them, Tom.
They'll tell someone.
No doubt. Yeah. Really a waste of that wool, though. He should have cleaned that up a little bit.
Oh, man.
I thought it
Years
was
from now,
fucking cool.
Rand is talking to everybody, and he's like, "Wait, you guys can't hear the sheep talking to you?" He's a sheep brother.
Sheep brother has to be the most useless. But in the middle of the winter, guess who's cuddling with all the sheep and he's warm? Sheep
It's like,
brother.
Cottonball, we're in danger. Bah. Like, there would be wolves or something.
I didn't like the fact that it was in the dragon's fang shape because I don't think that makes any sense to me that the Trollics would have any sort of attachment to that. But that's just my thought.
They're just calling all of the Two Rivers Dark friends.
Maybe
Yeah.
just one Trolloc did that. And it's like, it was supposed to be an arrow pointing toward town.
Yeah, he's just really
That's
bad
why
at
I put a little
drawing
smoke
things.
at
He's
that.
just really bad at drawing things in sheep carcasses.
Need to practice back in the Borderlands.
My last note for this little part of the show is Moraine stares at young boys. Then we
Just
get
a
Rand
lot.
and Tam on the mountaintop lighting a candle.
I kind of like the candle ceremony. It's a little. I like the idea that like
That's cool.
the souls need to come back to their bodies.
Yeah, it helps them explain the idea of the wheel.
Yeah. Of course, the only thing is they've literally never seen an example of it happening. So I guess hooray for most religious experiences. But that was kind of Rand's like, how often is it? How long does it take? And Pam's like, fuck, I don't know. I guess we'll keep
But
it.
no,
They live
but
in a
nobody
world where it's
remembers.
possible, Jono.
I wish he's like, if maybe there's a reason why nobody remembers their past lives. Well, except that one guy. Remember John down the street? He remembered everything.
Yeah, which was weird.
Played by Billy
Constantly
Zane.
talking about how we were married.
I didn't believe him. Thought he's full of shit.
So we get to Winter Night, which is fucking awesome.
This is definitely like, I feel like this is where we just do the Chris Farley thing where it's like, remember this part? That was awesome.
Yeah, remember that part? It was good.
You remember
That's what
parents
We can talk
dancing?
about. I can talk about it a little bit. Let's dance, get stabbed is my first note. We need to leave. Whoa, yeah. All right. So Land goes, we need to leave, and I'm like, what?
Why are you here?
It's really weird. He's
He
like,
meant-
I feel like
he
he's
meant
constantly
with
trying
them.
to like, hey, we
He
gotta
does-
go.
He is just trying to get off work early every day.
Oh.
Every
Um,
day.
And a little bit of
John,
show
those are
that
nipples.
It's not one of those shows.
Sheep die by explosion after sex with Rand.
It's the fucking
It's like
best.
Kryptonian projectile come. It just rips its way up.
Yeah, do you have,
Considering how
like,
much Dan the Fade resembles an Instagram model, the sheep thing makes sense as Dan's personal aesthetic. Interesting point. Okay, all right.
I was
well
I think I
researched.
mentioned it to Joe, but I was just struck when Moraine enters the fight. It really sounds like the music from Akira, which kind of works with. That would work better for men channeling because they're crazy. Like,
There is like constantly music underneath everything, and I can't tell if it's too much.
Is that
Like,
bad?
No, I said I can't tell if it's too much, but it almost like some of the music seems a little too modern for me. Like there's some like actual like electric guitar you can tell, and like that seems a little bit off.
once I catch the electric guitar once in a while, and I'm like, this is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Just want to go like character by character. And also,
Tom
I
has
gotta say,
Tom has a electric guitar in episode 3. Did you see that?
absolutely hilarious when a knave gets just snatched by the braid and dragged off.
It is.
I can think
How many
about
Also,
times-
Tom, did you hear that kid that Egwene was dancing with was named Tom? Because she was
Yeah.
like, Tom, what's wrong?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like, oh, that's
I was
me.
like, Tom got murdered?
you made it one episode.
It made me think about it too, because they've changed a couple names because I didn't want them to sound similar, and I'm like, there's literally a main character named Tom. Why didn't you name this guy anything else?
Tom. It's just gone phonetic with it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the fight itself, like, it's a cool fucking fight, just all the way around. And I also really enjoyed.
I mean, seeing that first Trollic, like, holy shit,
they're huge.
that looked really good.
Yeah,
like it looked good though. Like, I mean, you didn't watch that going like, oh fuck you fucked it up, kind of thing.
It's insanely imposing. Like, I just don't understand how a human army could ever defeat these guys.
Well, in the next episode, which we really need to get to because we need to get to spoilers for the books and the TV show. But
we're about there. I mean,
yeah, we're about there.
I don't know how much more we can cover the fights. Like stab, stab, stab. That was cool.
Stab, 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 stab.
I like the way Moraine and Land fight together.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Matt found his sisters they seemed like they were already in a pretty good place.
Yeah, I would left them there.
And he ran over and moved the board and like, they're right here.
I think his only thought process is like, we need to get the fuck out of this town. Like, I understand that you're hiding and you think you're hidden, but a bunch of those little Trollics that are on four legs or running around or like on all fours. Yeah, I did like that too.
I'm really excited Perrin has rage blackouts like Summer in the OC. Just sounds like a droid.
I don't understand what's going on with my internet connection.
Do you not know videos to stream?
Let's see.
I thought some of the.
I just wrote first Trollic, holy shit, and Eve gets grabbed. Perrin and Layla go to the forge. Padden Fane dips out. We need. Yeah, that's good.
Fane just sitting there giggling during the fight and then leaving is pretty funny.
I thought it was hilarious that a 70-year-old man was savagely attacked by Trollics and they drag him into the alley and then just tie a rope around his leg and like, I think we did it, and then he dies and they're like,
I think we're good. What happened? Is he dead?
Did you think that was good? That's all he needed?
Oh wait, what happened? Was he dead?
Modern medicine, almost there.
Fucking amazing.
Oh
man,
some of the weaves that Moraine uses look like they're callbacks to book 4, and like it just started a tier when Rand's like channeling all the shit from Loose Theron. Like she channels like this giant ball of shit, and then lightning comes down at every single Trollic, which is what he does. Like in after that, like girl is killed. Oh shit, we're not supposed to talk about. Fuck me.
Jono, you're so bad at this.
I haven't tried. Like I realized it after. Good.
You're so bad at it, Jono. So, moving on to the next scene. Rands Farm. The whores give warning. And then, Trollic attack, and then Tam's like, you need to leave. And then he's like, no, I'll get you to Nynaeve. But that's pretty amazing. That scene's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a cool like that. I think that's pretty close to what actually happens, right? I mean, there's no thing of water. It's not quite that level of like comfort and disturbance that happens, and you kind of miss that frantic shit. But at the same time, like I think it's great. And I would have liked Tan to have been a little bit better with the sword, but I guess again probably hasn't fought with that in a few weeks.
Yeah, he hasn't touched it in a long time.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
He hasn't handled it. He hasn't handled it.
Yeah. He hasn't dipped his, hilt all the way in.
He hasn't shaken dew from the tip of his branch in a long time.
So I guess the next scene, probably Rand coming down the mountain back into the Two Rivers.
Yeah. Moraine and Land turn the tide. They save Egwene and Nynaeve. Moraine rains lightning and rocks. Villagers fight back, which I thought was funny because I'm pretty sure that's still Complins and Congers.
They're all Complins and Congers. They're so intermarried. Everyone.
They all are.
She does fuck up the Wine Spring Inn, though. I mean, that was a little unnecessary.
Yeah, we're not at the aftermath yet of Rand getting to town. Like we still have a Perrin wolf rage murder.
Oh god, yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone. It's fascinating. Let's talk about that scene. Now that Tom's back.
Where are we at?
The forge with Perrin.
Yeah, Perrin murdering his wife.
I thought she was going to die when that Trollic pinned her against the wall. Like we all knew it was coming.
So did I.
Yeah, as soon as we found out that he was married, and I was like, well, unless they take a new Taviran bitch, someone's gone. She's got to die somehow.
I just wasn't
New
expecting
Taviran bitch.
him to be
Yep.
the one to do it. I actually gasped like in the theater. I was like, holy
You know
shit.
who else did? Layla.
As best she could.
But yeah, so
I mean, she kind of she kind of gasped while her lungs filled with blood. But
How many words did that character speak?
too many in Perrin's mind.
I don't know. They had that one quick scene where they were talking about her not going to the party and working or something, and then they hug her stomach, which makes me wonder if she was
I
pregnant.
thought she was pregnant.
I thought she was pregnant.
I thought she was pregnant. Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
In which case, holy shit for Perrin.
Yeah.
Not just murdering his wife.
That's why, especially because the axe goes right into rebellion. I was like, oh, you really did
God
it, bro.
damn, seriously, Jesus.
Good luck with that.
I really hope that's not the case, and we're misreading that.
He's going to
That's
be
horrible.
pounding off for a while. I'll tell you that. Like it's a new level in savage eroticism. Good for him.
God damn.
She jerks off the exact same way he
Yeah,
killed that Trollic.
I mean, we already kind of talked about this, but I wrote she looks like she's going to kill Perrin.
Say it again, Joe. I'm sorry. I was thinking watching Tom Viscera flying.
Oh my god.
God damn it, Joe.
I think that's basically the fight, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, we get to the end
yeah.
and just talk about how shocking it was. The Moraine's like, look, the dragon's been reborn. And I was like, oh, all right. We're talking about it.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the things that did lose me a bit is, like how underwhelming the healing was on Tam. Like, I thought the fucking village was cool as shit when it was burned, but like, that was a 100% like, oh, normal cut. Cool, you're done. Trollic poison. You guys have to go because giant army coming from there. And, like, tells about Galena's viewing. The Trollics are here because they're after you. Let's go to the tower. And, that's it. Just there's no real pushback. Some of that happens in the next episode, but it's like, I would think a 30-second scene of just kind of why us and like, can you afford to be wrong? That kind of thing. Just a little bit would have been helpful.
I'll tell you though, those Trollics would have had a lot more success if they wouldn't have lit all those torches before they came the second time.
Yeah, that was very stupid.
Hey, before we attack, hear me out. I'm thinking we gather up into a big group, so we're all together. We could spread out and run out throughout all the alleyways of the houses, but let's just gather into a group, all light up our torches.
Yeah.
Pause for a moment.
There's
and
no
yell
way.
Before we attack.
Yeah.
There's
Make
no
sure
way
that
they can see us running through these woods. Like, yeah, but I can't see 2 feet in front of me.
Yeah. Maybe they've lost like 3
We
different
can't destroy
armies.
the village if we can't get to the village. Nobody brought a flashlight. Just start lighting torches.
I wrote again, Lan wants to leave. There's too many. I think he says something again. He's like, we can't do it. We got to go.
Yeah,
and she's
it's
like, give me
ugly.
strength. And he kills them. And she kills them all with the rocks and stuff. And I'm like, motherfucker, Lan is really like.
He's pretty pessimistic
fuck
at her
out
odds. Yeah.
Lance.
Especially for someone who, like, theoretically, we know what his motivations are.
He's to that he wants to clock out because he was supposed to leave 4 hours ago.
We gotta go. Well, on that note, should we go to the next episode?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I have to talk about this is kind of spoiler heavy, so we can save it for the next.
Yeah, you don't want to do what
Episode
I do.
2.
Episode 2, White Cloaks. I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Fucking Balda. Recast as a questioner. I love it.
He's
I mean,
best actor in the world because holy fuck, I want this guy to
so
fucking
good.
die.
So good. I just wrote Valda burns a witch, ring finger, go birds because of Tom's tweet and what he eats, and then pretty terrifying.
There's not much to say, but it's just fucking.
I thought it was awesome. Again, so this is similar to the Red Aja hunting down
the
the men who can channel.
Yeah.
I guess spoilers for the books, but not really. It's just a scene that was added. But like that being said, it's a really cool way to illustrate
Creepy
what's going
scene.
on.
Yeah.
You know, like outside of like the main story and give it backstory. And I loved both of those scenes. I think they kind of both show like a really interesting part of the world that you didn't see in the books.
Is the implication that they can't channel without using their hands like this?
So that's the other question, right?
Can we
and there are some Aes Sedai who can't, because that's just how they, they learn to weave by literally weaving, and therefore losing that ability has like stymied their, potential kind of thing. But again, that's not A, the majority, and B, there's plenty of things that they do without weaves. So yeah, I don't really understand unless they've got fork root tea we didn't know about or something.
That's all I can think of. Like maybe they had a way to
Rufio. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they had a way to Rufio,
I suppose there's a lot of possible explanations for that. We'll figure it out later. I'm just guessing.
Nope. But I mean,
so what did you guys think about the actual intro that we get?
I love it. Like the fucking the wheel, or the warp and the weave kind of thing. I like it. I think that's really cool.
Interesting.
I like it.
That's a lot of not work.
No, I like it and I don't like. I mean, like it's very Aes Sedai centric.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool showing weaves of the pattern, so to speak, or maybe it's the age lace or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But it's pretty cool what it creates, and I like that it centers on the Aes Sedai, I suppose, and the idea.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, not didn't knock my socks off, but I'm not like stupid.
It changes as the series progresses.
Maybe. Yeah. Tom, show us your feet. Are your socks in fact on or off?
I am wearing socks.
So they were not off. That's good.
Yeah. Master Hightower is a sympathetic character now instead of like a robbing douchebag guy.
That was weird.
Yeah.
So it changed.
Yeah, and again, like I don't mind the change, although it does kind of erode the general assumptions around Terran Ferry. But at the same time, I think it's interesting that the ferry.
Those are biases from the Two Rivers, Jono.
I mean, he's a better dad than Matt's dad.
But
that's why the Terran Ferry people also hate the Two Rivers people, and they all just assume the same things about each other.
All those people down south are shitbags.
Yeah.
It's interesting that what should be the centerpiece of like commerce there, the actual ferry, is in fact located nowhere within the confines of the town. Like that seems poorly defended.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was a town, and then later they implied there was, or said there was. So I was like, okay. The
first viewing, I didn't notice the town. I was like, what the fuck is this? But then on the second one I watched earlier, he mentions that the town is just like north or something like that, which again seems odd. But as far as the actual, of course, thank God we rode here just in time. And I had
real quick right before that, they're running and it's daytime and there's Trollics, and it shows the Trollic on all fours, and then they like run through that shallow water. Trollics are in the daytime. CGI. How are you guys feeling?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, they look good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like,
good enough.
We keep acting like the first few episodes of any show it's still finding itself.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Yeah.
Considering that it's just starting, it's pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
just back to your point.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I think the overwhelming point is, like, I'm going to say it like 800 more times. It's going to be fascinating. Is the fact that this show exists, like Tom mentioned, is still just a fucking bonus.
Yeah,
like,
we already win. We already win.
Yeah.
If they literally never made another one, I'd be sad, but I'd be like, I can't believe we got this.
It also made me laugh my ass off.
That's a fair point.
Massive bait and switch. There's like all these articles about it being like 8 seasons or something like that, and they just quit after one, saying no.
No, they're making season 2.
Maybe they only finished 3 episodes in season 2.
They're just like land. They're like, we're done.
Maybe we should go.
Yeah.
Tom, I don't know if you missed that, or I don't know if we said it out loud, but everyone's drinking every time Jono says fascinating, which is a lot.
I noticed things.
So I wrote horses gallop. We lost them. Things are more dangerous than the Trollics in this world. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Lance lost them.
Yeah. Also, you did not lose them. They followed you right to where you were going.
Yeah, they were
Use
like
them for a time.
right behind you.
Yeah. He says that again
We
later
lost
on.
They'll
Lance,
eventually pick up our trail and then find us again. But currently, we lost them.
It's interesting these Trollics don't have bows.
that's helpful though.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll come around.
So like right after the ferry, Moraine heals the horses, and it looked like she was going down the line
Horses,
from
Tom,
left
you
to
said that
right,
wrong.
and then
Yeah.
she was healing the last one that was on the ground, and then the one to the right wasn't on the ground. It didn't need healing, and I thought they were about to point it out, and then they didn't.
Yeah, I would have loved.
So I don't really know.
Interesting.
I guess
Yeah, no, I think that's a very phallic point. Yeah, that'd be
Interesting, very interesting indeed.
fascinating. In fact,
Comments to be had in our spoilers for the books and television show. Segments of the
this is
show.
hard to just talk about the show.
Let's hurry. Yeah, well, let's hurry up and power through this.
All right, let's go through.
All right, it's that time. Moraine trains a Gween. Perrin longs for home, and Rand dreams about a bat.
There's
Some thoughts on that?
I found there's some scenes in the show that I've read in the book so many times where I'm like, before it even starts, I'm like, I'm bored.
You're just like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like I know how this is going down.
there's certain stylistic choices that just confuse the hell out of me. Like why bat versus what was already expected. Like that. Not to get into it, but it just seems like why change something that was $0? You know, like already had existing like lore with it. That just seems odd to me.
Probably budgetary reasons.
I don't know.
Bats versus rats?
Yeah.
Want to see this $10 million budget line on it. We're going to audit the shit out of this.
Rats cost how much? All right.
Dreams have power. Rand gets angry. Why should we trust you? What does a man do at the White Tower except become a whipping boy? We're staying with her. Let's try to stay on her good side. Land circles back to make sure they all follow. And I wrote that with an exclamation
don't gloss
point because
over
that's the
Perrin's
part.
Don't gloss over Perrin's Trollic bite, which I guess we'll talk about when we get to spoiler parts. But like, I need to have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
What do you think about shit? If we're not spoiling things, what do you think about the guy in the dream with the fiery eyes?
Well, obviously,
I mean, I think he looked cool and intimidating.
Looks like the man
Not
in the
quite
Iron
what I
Mask.
imagined.
Yeah.
it's not what I imagined. It looks a little campy to me. It's a little kind of.
Yeah, I guess we haven't gotten a good look at it either, but like.
Yeah. It's really fast. Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't seem like it, other than just obviously having glowing embers for eyes. It doesn't seem nearly that level of like malevolence that you'd expect.
Then, yeah, they meet the White Wolves.
I like that, Brenda. Maybe. I also interested. We joke about there's a scene after the Terran in the book about a weird place they sleep. They instead find weird places to sleep throughout all of
Constantly.
It's just amazing.
Land B&B.
Yeah.
Not only that, but they're like rock structures that like look like they were once homes or something.
Airbnb, Land B. No, that doesn't work.
Maybe that's what Land's always trying to go. Like, maybe we should go because we got an appointment tonight.
Maybe we should go.
Yeah.
All right. So they run into these white cloaks. I love that. They're like, look, we kill every lady from this tower we can find, but if you see one, I'd get that looked at.
Yeah, that makes
What?
That,
like, are you kidding?
Also, apparently the ones that wear yellow are really good at that, but I just burned one of those. On the
I mean, they're not all bad, and they can definitely help you with that healing. But if I see one, I'm gonna slit her throat immediately.
now, maybe that was just the questioners because Valda looked like he was in charge, and now Bonehold is the one in charge of all of this. But
What
still,
about-
My notes are literally white cloak, roadblock, bonehold.
What about
And
questioner?
then I wrote
versus
Valda molests Moraine.
Yeah, what is he
And then that's
looking
it.
for?
a ring, which
He's just
apparently was
rubbing her body.
Land's
I know.
bundle.
He's real handsy.
He keeps getting blood on his fingers too. Like when he was like drinking with that chick and like he was just smearing her blood. It's a good thing they did not have blood.
Wouldn't it be interesting if he just started like putting oil, like just
How can a guy
Just
that
getting
messy and
ready.
careless? If he's that messy and careless with like the blood on his fingers, how is he keeping that outfit so white?
It's on like his 6 different cloak that day.
He's got little boys coming around like licking his fingers or something.
I like that theory already.
I don't know if we need to go down this path.
Well, he's going to.
They already went there, Tom. I'm just illustrating what's obviously in between the scenes.
It's a good thing Rosamund Pike is apparently as pale as I am because no tan line underneath my ring either.
That's all I could.
I was thinking that instantly. Even I don't have a tan line, and you can still see where my ring was. Like it's like there's an indentation.
Maybe she quickly channeled to just change the color of her hand. That was it.
Yeah, she healed her own hand. That's impossible. Shut up.
I'm just glad she didn't put that ring in her shoulder blade pocket that she keeps back here because he checked that.
Yeah. There's like a massage halfway.
What are you looking for? So strange.
Even Lan was like, I come from the Borderlands where people know to keep their hands to themselves. What the fuck is going on? And no one says a word. He doesn't respond to it. He's just like, yep, just feeling up a lady. No big deal.
And all right, so right after this, Egwene's like, so you just lied to that guy. You said you couldn't heal yourself, but you can heal yourself. And I'm like, does Egwene think Moraine's been riding around for days with this wound and she could heal it herself, but she just hasn't?
No, did she say something about healing herself? I thought she just said you broke the oaths.
Tom is correct, yeah.
Yeah, because he said she lied because she could heal the wound. She's like, no, we can't heal ourselves. And I'm just like, Egwene's pretty dumb.
Yeah, Egwene, have you seen any magic system? Almost no one can self-heal.
Like, if
Egwene
she could heal
says
that.
the three oaths, you just broke them. And she says, did I? And then I thought she was talking about like lying about like where they came from and like blah, blah,
she mentioned several things.
She's like, where did you come from? And she's like,
well, now the joke's frozen. I don't know why he's disagreeing with us. This literally happened.
It's 2-1. Yeah.
I just watched it like 45 minutes ago.
That's amazing because we were on this fucking show.
An hour.
This frozen shit is getting really frustrating.
But it's also your favorite Disney movie, so.
Did you like the song in the Manetheren speech?
Apparently, everyone should drink when I freeze. That's happening more often than fascinating.
That's fascinating indeed. I don't know if I liked the Manetheren thing, just because it seemed like Forrest considering what happened, and then it immediately was just like, I don't even know where the fuck Manetheren is. Well, it's you, dickhead. Like, oh, like that.
It seems weird that he's singing the song and he sings it after looking back at Moraine and seeing she's sick, as if he like understands an Aes Sedai, like or someone that can channel like giving some sort of sacrifice or something. Like it has weight to what he's doing or what's happening, and then 5 seconds later he's like, I don't even know what it is.
I think he's just
so you're just like, what?
I often sing songs about vanished homeland that happen to coincidentally be where I'm from.
I like this. I like the speech, but it was one of those parts, like I just said, like I've seen this in the book so many times that like I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to take forever.
Yeah. No, I thought the speech was well delivered, though. I mean, it's pretty much just moving it from where it happened.
No, it was good.
Yeah. One thing I did love the shit out of what he's like. It was said earlier. Joe, you mentioned it. Like that. What does a man do at the White Tower? Is probably the best question. Like that's almost like. Hey,
I mean, it was a solid note.
Yeah.
Janitor.
Yeah. Didn't think of that. Yeah. Stallion. You can help breed the horses.
So we see the wolves.
I mean, Miracle Butler is a job.
Yeah.
That's in the Pit of Doom. We got 10 wolves show up on either side of Perrin.
Yeah. Solid flanking or pincer maneuver from them. They really got him.
And then basically, I mean, at that point, we're in Shadar Logoth.
Well, so, obviously wolves, like dogs, lick their asses. Is this really a good thing to have licking your wound? Like, that's going to be one hell of an infection I think he's going to get. I think that's where the series is going.
I think I'll be fine.
I wrote Wolf licks Perrin's fur capris.
It's good to have that.
His legs are
heals wounds.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Maybe that'll change later.
They're capris, Tom. When he pulls up his ankle, his pants, you can't see. You can't see the fur yet.
part of his transition. So I guess we make it into Charlotte Goth because of forget why did they get because again
Moraine.
the Trollics are right there.
Well, so it's a second camping at night. Egwene again feels the same mirror droll, so clearly she can sense the mirror droll.
Well, she's bonded to him.
Maybe all of the whatever. Like clearly she can feel it.
Yeah,
but she wakes up and sees it, and then 5 seconds later, Lan runs back into the camp. So obviously he had been out scouting. And felt it before her.
I love how close they're like right there, and they're like, "Oh, we're too high." Fuck.
Yeah,
because they have like time to wake up and get their shit together, get on the horses. I'm like, I feel like
this is what
dead.
it is. They're like the agents of the dark are just like it's in a straight line, just go, and they're like, well, there's a cliff.
They are constantly too high on the mountain to get these guys.
God damn it, we're too high up again. Go around.
So they're scared of water and cliffs. Like neither one of these.
Yeah.
Like we cannot get this escarpment.
I know. Just jump down. They're right there. You got 'em.
I did like the Trollics pushing back on the other Trollics. I mean, and then one fell in. Yeah, that was
ferry. Yeah. I guess it makes sense for them to be afraid of. They wear heavy fucking armor. So
all right. So let's talk about Shatter Logoth and the end of this episode real fast, so we can get into spoilers for the books and the TV show and say what we really think.
Well, what's the big stuff here to cover then? Do you hear Fane's whistle before?
You hear something.
Yeah, I assume that's Fane's whistle. I guess, but why would it be Fane's whistle? Why wouldn't it be the spirit of the city?
I don't know, because we hear him whistling a lot, and that's like our cue. Like this guy's around here somewhere.
Well, especially considering what happens.
Yeah. Is Joe frozen again? I wrote. He should just stop talking. So Matt gets the dagger.
That was adorable.
Yeah. Matt finding the dagger.
Apparently, I should stop talking. I'm done.
I'm
just going to listen and comment periodically.
Matt finding the dagger is an interesting thing because it's so like he's following, I guess, the whistling here.
You see a shadow, like a person's shadow. I think that's a nod to whatever.
Mordeth.
Yeah. And then he gets it, and then it's not mentioned again. Not to get too into episode 3, I guess, just briefly, but my wife was like, "What's with Matt?" And I was like, "Oh, well, this is a thing." And I realized, like, they haven't even shown that he has it. I don't think.
Not really. No, in episode 3, no.
Yeah, I guess we'll get there.
No, they do. They do. He pulls it out and threatens Tom, and I think he pulls it out later on with Dana.
You're right. Yeah,
he uses it like twice right away. Like he has it.
I guess I gotta watch that.
He just threatens with it. That again, I'm assuming that is that knife. He just pulls out a knife. I didn't look and analyze it.
I don't think I've seen it since Thursday night. I saw like half of it, but then the plane landed, and I had to like go about my life again.
You should stay on the plane.
Yeah, just see where you go.
Yeah,
just
never know.
Stay on the plane.
But so back on the actual, I guess, this show. I kind of really enjoy. I think Shatter Logoth looks pretty fucking perfect to me.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's not quite as broken down as 2,000 Years would show, but still, like there's big ass domes, they're all broken and things like that. So I like it. I'm not sure I understood why they chose dark, whatever the fuck, creeping versus the mist, but still, I think it looks fucking cool.
I liked it, and it's easier to make look dangerous and run away from than like slow fog. I'm like, how can you not get away from fog? It's not that fast. Just brisk walk, you're out.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I liked it.
And then that horse just melting was fucking cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, oh shit, don't get touched by that.
Yeah, that's like what Rand's dick did to those sheep, I guess.
Yeah.
Watching Tom's face was fun there. You were clearly reading something else.
No, I was just thinking about something, and then I was like, oh, I guess that's it. I guess the only thing, like, Moraine wakes up, she's like, where are we? And Lan tells her, and she's like, you idiot. I'm like, I feel like we're making Lan look like kind of a dumbass.
Well, I mean, Lan has twice now said, this Trollics won't follow us. And both times, 6 hours later, there's Trollics behind him. Like, so, maybe don't follow his advice.
We lost him. Like, if by lost you mean they're just one street over.
Yeah.
They're never gonna find us.
Yeah. They're on the cliff. Fuck.
If you're ever gonna run from Trollics, I guess the best time is at night too. They carry so many torches.
They clearly can't see in the dark.
Just spite. It's supposed to be half.
And then the knave shows up.
Yeah, you've killed us, and Lan is a fuck up, and then
Yeah.
Neve shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were
I
at
like
the
how Matt's like, or like Rand's like, boost me up, and Matt's like, what? Boost me up?
what am I?
I want to leave.
Yeah. Fuck you. Boost me up.
I don't know.
Rand's like, I have an inkling that if you I boost you up, then you won't be unlocking that door for me.
Yeah, but now that I've got this dagger in my hand, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm totally gonna run through that gate without you.
Yeah. It's not worth the conversation, but one of like the last things that I remember from watching the show last week with you was there were some people like 5 or 6 behind us as we were leaving, talking about like Nynaeve speaking up on Lan, and then like back and forth about the fact that like, what the hell's that about? And then remembering, oh wait, she actually did. But that's the only thing I could think of like at that scene was just that really long conversation between a few guys behind us. Just really almost wish I could black that out now.
I mean, someone said something really funny about it in chat a second ago, and I can't find it. Basically, it was she's also following a shitload of Trollics.
That's true
So
too. Yeah.
it's not like the path is pretty obvious up into a point.
Yeah, 300-pound animals that are like on hooves, just running. Yeah, with 300 of them, you'll notice. So I think overall impressions for episodes 1 and 2, like as far as out of 10, Joe. Well, I'll go first then, since Tom's abdicated. And
Ratings. Talking about ratings.
Ratings.
Ratings. I don't know. Yeah, why don't you go first, Jonah?
Like I said last week, I'd say 8.5 just in general. I think my favorite. I liked episode 1 more than episode 2, just because again it's the start and exist, that kind of thing. So maybe 8.5 for the first one and 8. And then I'm excited for tomorrow. Plug for tomorrow because I think that's my favorite of the 3 I've seen so far.
I can't tell if that I kind of agree, but I can't tell if it's because I'm like, oh, the story's getting going and I'm excited now, or is it just like, I don't know, I can't, or is it actually getting better? Like the 3rd episode is better. I feel like I'm a little too close to it.
We'll move backwards.
Well, that being said, I would give episode 1 an 8 also. You said 8.5, but I'm giving it an 8.
I like the first more
because it's just like it's a little rough. It's a little like piloty.
Yeah,
it's still awesome as fuck. Obviously, 8's a really high number, but like it's just there's a few things, and they're not about book changes. It's really just like in general, just like okay, they'll find the characters. They'll get there, kind of feeling.
Tommy Bear.
Okay. I mean, just the fact that it exists makes me want to say 10.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Fair enough.
Well, except only the cape can get a 10, so like 9.9.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you're cape rating it?
Yeah.
Cape rating it? No.
I forget. That's how we do that. We do it on a scale of Winter's Dragon to the cape, and I give it a 9.9.
I give it a 9.9, right under the cape.
9.9.
What a bizarre rating.
Well, since we wrapped 1 and 2 into one segment, what about episode 2? How do you guys feel about that one? Ratings for episode 2.
Oh, all right. Yeah, 1 is definitely 9.9. I liked it more than 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2 I'll give a 9.7.
Interesting. 8.5 for 1, 8 on 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like 2 was better for me.
Really?
And here's why.
Better than 1?
Because I love Lan standing behind a tree.
More comedy.
If I had told you,
really good.
If I had told you that the first episode of the Wheel of Time show, Perrin was going to axe a woman in the stomach, like that was not a Trollic or not ostensibly a Dark Friend or anything.
That's
like
true.
that.
That's true.
Maybe.
In that Winter's Night fight alone, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. All right, I'll reverse it. Number 1, 9. Number 2, 8. That's my final numbers.
All right.
We're getting into it. We're gonna do it. We're doing it. We're doing it right now. Spoilers for the books and the TV show. And now we have about 15 minutes to ramble off as much shit as we can say.
I need to go first. Are they implying?
Wait, hold on. Seriously, guys, if you haven't read the books, get the fuck out.
Yeah, spoilers. Are they implying that Perrin is going to be a wolf brother because he got a wolf bite from a wolf Trollic?
It's
Is he a werewolf? Like I'm so distressed by this seeming turn of events.
I have so many thoughts, and that was not one of them. And I'm not prepared to discuss it.
I don't think that's what that is.
Why he keeps pulling his pants up and looking at this bite, and then all of a sudden it's all
and then
merging in together.
Oh my god, you're right. It's like a fucking zombie movie.
So anyone that gets bit by a wolf Trollic could become a wolf brother.
He just starts scratching his chest.
I think. I hope you're fucking wrong, Tom.
I don't think I am.
I think that it's like trying to show that he's gotten cut. It's getting infected, but the wolf.
I mean, he's definitely cut, Jono.
Yeah.
Have you seen him with his shirt off?
I have. You seen his wife with her shirt off because she's dripping her entrails
from marble. Yeah.
Go on, Paul.
He's gonna be a fucking werewolf.
I think the wolf is licking it to clean it and therefore helping. But that being said, I will give it a 0 out of 10 for whatever episode if he becomes a werewolf.
Man, that. I mean, in terms of show theories, that's like my favorite one by far. Fuck Layla being a dark friend.
Watch the second episode again through that lens. Like he just keeps pulling his pants up and like something's wrong here. And then like, wait a minute, I think I can talk to these dogs. I'm like, this can't be where they're going with this. But I think it is. Like somebody in that writer's room was like, wait, he can just talk to wolves? We need a reason for that.
And this is the reason. The rationale landed on the werewolf theory.
So most of my book, or my book spoiler notes tend to be changes. So obviously I'm just gonna rip through some of these. No Myrddraal on the road. Same as no Tam on a litter. Like I get why they didn't do it. They don't want to highlight Rand. But at the same time, you could have seen a Myrddraal on the road. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? What the fuck was that?
Well, again,
instead it's just like rocks tumbling down, and he's like, "Oh," with the bow. I don't know.
But you're not mistaking.
What was that?
You're not mistaking this Myrddraal for like a weird stranger on the road.
Well,
I mean, if you just see a cloaked figure, sure.
Yeah, I guess way in the
No,
distance.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like you can just say he looked wrong from a distance, like from like that, and you can't really see very clearly.
That would have been hard to pull off on the show too. Like he disappears like Batman. Like it makes a lot more sense in a book.
Especially the Batman part.
It's just like he's gone.
Like certain parts about just kind of like the overall like feeling of the books is missing, right?
Yep.
The Winter's Night not feeling like not the fact that winter has turned into spring already. Clearly, assuming that's even at the right time of the year. Like so there's not just that scare of are we gonna go hungry? Like there's not just that like without the fucking Myrddraal in the woods, you don't have that dread, even though obviously it's a fucking like and like all of that just seems a little bit I don't know missing. And I think those are like
the fade in the woods with Rand and Tam got replaced with the fade comes into town and Egwene senses it in the middle of the night. Like that was like the give and take scene.
Maybe. I guess so. But I mean, like, that doesn't add much to me, really. It almost seems kind of worse. Again, especially as Tom mentioned, like, there's no Peyton Fane first, who's kind of a trailblazer there. Like, that's what his job has been, to kind of find these things. But, certain parts of that kind of just atmosphere are missing to me.
Yeah, Emmons Field doesn't feel like this comfortable,
really
warm, small town that they would want
I mean,
to
I
get
think
back
that's... I think that's demonstrated with like Marinelle Veer saying, "Why don't you guys fuck?" and then like Matt's parents being shitbags and like there's just little parts where you're just like, that's not very Emmonsfieldy, but okay.
Yeah. Well, now when they're on the run or they're on the road and someone's like, "I want to go back home," I just want to be like, "Why?"
Yeah.
It's terrible there. Matt
Yeah,
sleeps in
especially like
dirt.
Matt Coffin, right? Like, why the fuck does Matt want to go home? Like,
Did you feel as an like a weird sense that like Matt and Perrin have like a strong bond? You don't want to hear about it here, but they have a strong bond. Do you know what I'm talking about?
they fucking?
Well, there's like a few, like in Shatter Logoth, like Matt comes up and comforts Perrin and vice versa. Like 5 seconds later,
This is
about his
only what
sisters,
guys
and then,
do
like
with bang.
I
later
honestly
on, like Egwene. Is this episode 3? But I guess Egwene and Rand, or Egwene and Perrin are like Matt, Rand, you know, and they're both screaming for the other one. But like Perrin's yelling out Matt's name. I mean, I guess it's just dialogue, but I mean, like
I do
it just
that
like
they
there's a little bit of like, hey, do they have a stronger bond? They have a strong bond.
Yeah, I like that they're highlighting the friendship a little more because there
Yeah.
can be times where you're reading the books and like, are these guys
Again,
really
a
even
change I
friends?
liked.
Well,
Yeah,
there's also
exactly.
the issue that it does seem like they spend more time because, you know, Rand being the center of the story. Like, it's always, you know, how does Matt interact with Rand? How does Perrin interact with Rand? Like, you don't really see
Right.
much
So
Perrin
showing
Matt.
them like have an
Yeah.
actual friendship, I liked. It was a
Yeah.
change I liked.
Yeah, and I we mentioned earlier, I love making Egwene a fourth Severian as long as it's like within like the context of the accomplishments that
Yeah.
she does within the series. Because how much does she fucking do? I mean, so much. You know, she reunites the tower. She, you know, beats the fuck out of multiple. You know, like the whole Black Ajah, pretty much. Like, so that's
Right.
on par with some of the other shit that Perrin does.
Spoilers for the books, John. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Oh wait, that's
right
the
up-
segment of the
That's
show.
what it says up there. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know if I have a ton. Do you think Whitebridge is going to be a stand-in for Camelin in this first
It
season?
seems like it may be a stand-in for Barillon almost.
Yeah,
Just based on where, you know, not to get down the road, but, you know, we haven't seen
That makes
him yet.
sense.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen at Whitebridge
Later.
and Loyal Whitebridge, and then they'll leave from Whitebridge to go to the Eye, maybe.
Oh, well, we'll see. I hope not. I hope you're fucking wrong. I hope they
Probably. 'Cause
follow
I don't
the plan.
I don't feel like they'll get to Tarvalon.
Oh yeah, that does. You know, that doesn't happen in the books either.
Because we're not
Yeah.
getting.
I mean, like,
We're not getting
well,
a
yeah,
lane.
but we've seen a lot of like Moraine being judged.
That's
I think-
true.
I
That could
feel
be
like
new stuff,
I think
though.
that's flashbacks. I think we'll get like the end of episode 6 and have like some major cliffhanger, and then in episode 7 we'll probably get like the New Spring story.
Or she's separated from them for that long somehow.
yeah,
and,
and then we
Goes to Tarvalon in between linking back up with them.
there's a clip of her from that scene in Tarvalon taking the oaths, so that's got to be
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Something
I guess
different.
there could be flashbacks. Yeah,
that's what I think it's going to be.
is Min confirmed in the first season? I do not know.
I believe so.
Got to be, yeah, because they cast her. I think last
Really
year.
early, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's kind of similar to Tom, where she's in the first season, but we have no idea where she's going to pop up because it's not going to be the normal.
I'm ready for
spot.
tomorrow. Like, I'm ready to just fucking go. I've got many thoughts of that.
Oh,
But-
I want to talk about Tom. Let's talk
Yeah.
about Tom. We can't.
That's tomorrow night.
What about Narg not talking? You guys
that was
upset about that?
disappointing. That was upsetting. That's obviously one of the most uncanonical things they could have done. It made no sense.
Narg
I
not
wonder
talking.
why they didn't.
Plus, like once Tam gets the sword, he like cuts down like so many Trollics, and then instead he had trouble with one. And I was like, "Aren't you a Blade Master?"
Yeah, and they even showed it extra to like, hey, by the way, definitely Blade Master approved, and hasn't used this. In
Yeah, they
20
like zoomed in on the
Yeah.
Baron.
But if Tam can't take
Um,
out one Trollic and he's supposedly a Blade Master, then because the farmhouse gets attacked by many Trollics, and then Rand
Yeah.
circles back later and
and
has
that's
trouble with one on his own, which makes sense. But
yeah. Well, Rand's already killed one. What's your deal, Tam? I do think that that's another piece that's missing. Is like just that feeling of total dread when you're reading from Rand's point of view when he's stuck in the woods trying to figure out how to get back to the house to get his dad, and then how to get his dad into Emmons Field. Again, I get that wouldn't play well on TV.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of changes that I agree with because I get that they want to keep the mystery of who the dragon is like
yeah,
a mystery, and I get that. But like, so there's if you agree with those changes, they tend to like roll it. And we said this in our spoiler review, our spoiler-free review. But like, they tend to roll into the next change. Like here's like, if you accept this, then you accept this and this and this and this and that. But like, it just kind of left me with like a oh wow, this is really fast. Oh wow, no Tam on a litter, like through the woods. Oh like, oh wow, like none of the like, and you're just like, oh, okay, shit.
Yeah, it's hard.
And
it's hard not to notice the things that are missing.
Yeah.
Because we're.
I think one of the weird takeaways so I've tried to minimize my change notes to why the fuck did they change that? Because there was no need to. Like, why is Tam awake when he leaves? For instance, like, why is he just passed out on the ground? Like, like there's little things like that. And I'm just like, why change that? Like you were saying with the rat thing. I know it's stupid, but like, why make it that instead of a rat? Like, why'd they do that? What's the point of that? Kind of thing. Like, it's like, why you're changing already? You're changing a bunch of shit. Why change all these little things that didn't need to change?
That end of episode 1, like, look, one of you guys is the Dragon Reborn. We got to go now. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, that's Oh, that's another thing. And I
that part is where like I really was.
God, I could talk about that for a while.
Yeah, you've got to make me feel like I want to, right? I mean, like works in the first book because only 3 places were attacked and the rest was just some chaos.
Yeah, they don't say that at all. There's no indication that they're important at all.
Yeah,
they were just all attacked all at once. Like Emmons Field was attacked. Like she's like, it's the 4 of you. We got to go. I would have been like, why do you think that? What's happening? They did not illustrate that well. I have to say. Like I was just like, why? Why did they believe her at all? Like, what's going
I would have been
I
would have been happy to leave because I would have just been like, looks like those Trollics are coming here.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like, though. That's what it feels like is happening. It feels like they're just going like, well, I guess let's leave. She's an Aes Sedai and she can't lie, and she's saying
Tom's point section,
and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here either fucking way. So if you're leaving, I'm leaving.
We should get the fuck out of town anyway. So
it's about to be lit on fire by these guys you can barely see.
Yeah, the 4 of them being singled out was not illustrated well for me, like in the slightest.
I'm bummed out that Perrin doesn't have like a fancy axe that they highlight instead of just like apparently some regular axe he's just carrying around.
True too.
Instead of his some kind of battle axe. And then Matt without the bow. It doesn't look like we're ever going to get anything kind of highlighted about Two Rivers bows or
no. And
like that.
What about Two Rivers to back? Yeah, are we gonna learn about Two Rivers to back though? I mean, that's that's pretty important.
Maybe it's gonna be one of those animated backstories.
They just seem they just don't seem as off the beaten path as I'd expect that to be.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I wrote this in one of my notes as well. Just that they kind of all know what an Aes Sedai is. Like when she's like Moraine Sedai when they first get introduced, and everyone's like, an Aes Sedai, and then you're just like. Everyone seems to just kind of understand right away, like that she's Aes Sedai and like what it means. And
I want to see the scene.
And Fane apparently comes more often, and like they're just not as remote as you would think they would.
I want to see the scene of Moraine and Lan outside of the inn, and she's like, "All right, you go. No, you go in first. Announce me. Announce." Like he's like, "Should I like? How do you want to do this? Should I throw the door open? Just like, do you just want to go to the bar? Like, no.
Yeah, wait 30 seconds and then I'll come in. Make sure you keep your hood down for a long part. Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe we will get a 10-minute X-ray cartoon.
Yeah, we need a grand. We need a grand entrance
of the Two Rivers.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know you would.
It's the glossary. It's like that. The cartoons are the glossary of the fucking book.
Yeah. Oh, the show, you mean? You fucking goddamn it, John. You fucked that up.
What was it? I didn't hear you.
I'm kidding. So we talked about this before, but I love that they're showing like outside threats that we didn't get to see in the books. So this is a change I did like. The White Cloaks hunting down Aes Sedai and killing them. The Red Aja hunting down men who could channel and killing them. Like, I really want talking about Tom from the next episode. Like, I really wanted to like. Let's revisit that scene and then like how it zooms up, like it pans up and Moraine and Lan are looking down and she's like, it's not the Dragon Reborn. I just wanted to keep panning up and Tom be there like, God damn it, my nephew's dead.
He was also too high.
Yeah, he's another like zigzaggy path up above Moraine.
I could have saved him, but I was up here instead of down there.
I was too high up.
That's the best advice. Just always stay low. Get as low as you possibly can. The threat will always.
It's the opposite advice from Star Wars. I wrote she's very upfront about one of them's the dragon.
Yeah, it does seem, and we talked about it briefly, right? That the prophecy in this case isn't just, the dragon will break the world. It's in this case, dragon broke the world, but the dragon reborn will save it. So it doesn't have that kind of negative, like not quite the
it doesn't have that like the dragon reborn is the Antichrist feeling.
That's a good point. Like, why would they be scared? Like, the dragon's back. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it
turns out everything's gonna be fine, guys. One of us is the savior.
Like the prophecy that what you are as a man who's going to channel is A, you're going to break the world, you're going to go insane, and maybe you're going to be the dragon reborn, who also most people don't know is actually the savior. So like your fate at the very least is death and insanity. And so the idea that it's a woman possibly too, when they said that, like that one again, it seems emblematic that you need to have a man to cleanse the source. And I guess maybe you don't necessarily, but if it's the same soul burnt out that's kind of coming back again, we get into some very interesting gender questions.
I don't want to.
Well, I think the idea that it could be
that's like kind of like
it's gonna set up a firestorm of lunatics screaming back and forth.
Fucking do it.
The idea that it could be a woman it works in the show currently, but I feel like the second certain plot lines start to like play out, you're like, well, obviously it's one of the boys. Even if you keep it hidden that it's Rand for a while.
If they changed it from Rand, like even to just like Perrin, I would just be like, I don't think I want to watch this anymore.
I'm out.
Yeah, I would agree. I find that interesting. They've made Rand being and it makes sense with his attitude later in the books. But like Rand, like we don't even know who the fuck you are. Like he does do it once or twice with Egwene. But literally, apparently. But like Rand being the one to kind of really bitch about where are we going and why the whole time, whereas Matt Coffin, the ostensible swindler dickhead, other than stealing from neighbors and shit, is the far more kind of sentimental. He's giving Perrin the knife. He's a more thoughtful, like Rand, you're being an ass. Far more of the tempered person than you would expect, given that kind of what eventually he turns into.
Yeah, I guess maybe to highlight the change that the dagger is going to bring about.
And that's kind of what I almost wonder if that's what it is, right? Like, my first thoughts when Perrin killed his wife, which A, hilarious. B was like, this kind of gives him that base for.
That's what they were going for, a big belly laugh.
Literally. Would kind of give him that brooding personality early. Yeah. Now, whether or not there's actually a dark friend tied to it, that may change that. But so if you've got him already on his brooding pathway, and then you've got Matt showing him as a halfway decent dude, again in quotations, because it's thievery is not really great, but then the dagger changing his personality, and then insanity presumably or whatever from channeling to Rand, you have them all three going through pretty aggressive mental changes kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, one of them's going to be a werewolf.
Fuck me. If that's fucking true.
That's how he's becoming Wolf Brother, man, because of that bite. I'm telling you. Just watch it.
It's a very aggressive scene, too. 10 wolves walk up to him, one licks his shin, and they just keep on walking.
It's like, why isn't this bite healing?
I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Like if that is what,
that doesn't make him a wolf brother. That makes him like half Trollic or something.
Yes,
also, can the wolf Trollics talk to wolves?
It's a great question. I don't think they ever used wolf stock, did they? For it? Oh yeah, they had to it for the.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna need to do a lot more work on werewolves, learning the lore,
just learning about werewolves.
Yeah. So,
I have one thought with that.
One final thought.
It's not what you guys were talking about. I don't think. But just when the wolves come up and lick Perrin's leg, all I could think about was like what it's gonna be like. I know, but all I could think about was what it's gonna look like when they're actually talking to him. And I'm just like, what if the wolf came up and just like, "Hi, I'm Hopper."
Yeah,
just like, what's gonna happen? What's that gonna be like? Come on, it's gonna be weird. How are they gonna do it? That's not fucking weird. That's
I think a one-sided conversation. where a parent's like
I hope so.
talking and it's not. Because
It's not
I
Nabby
literally,
the fairy again. Yeah.
I said this to Joe and Taffy off air last week, but I was just like, man, like he looks at the wolf looks at him, he looks at the wolf, and like I had this creeping dread in my, like I was like, oh no, don't do it. That's when I realized how fucking stupid that was gonna be.
Hey, sup, bro? I'm gonna clean that wound for you.
It's just like, how are you?
You're a wolf, bro, right?
Yeah.
I knew you.
I'm a wolf, but here's how I talk. It's like clouds rushing across the
I want it to
sky
be
and
like,
stuff.
yeah,
oh,
I want it to be like
so
flashes
bad.
of images, and then he's gonna be like, the wolves say Trollics are over here, you know,
Yep.
like kind of thing. Yeah,
That just definitely just doesn't work.
Yeah, unless you're reading it, it's like there's no way it doesn't sound or look stupid.
I can't wait to see what they do. I'm so afraid.
Yeah, I do love like there are times, you know, kind of where the bigger issue is almost like pain avoidance versus like your almost the excitement of the show. Like, please don't fuck this up versus I can't wait for it. And that's one of those pieces that seems very much like if they do Nabby Hopper it, then like you're back on a winner's dragon versus the cape on the scale.
I mean, even if everyone's liking this show and it's like a massive hit, and then episode 6 comes out, the wolf's just like, "What's up, man?" It's gonna get mocked across the internet into oblivion.
I love that we just go silent instead of reading what's happening. So Brando writes, "We're just the dumbest."
I'm sorry, I was muted.
Oh,
If they
no.
could just somehow do parent interpreting senses, that would be dope. But I guess just voice over with telepathic and flashes. Interesting.
What if,
I don't-
what if
I
they do
don't
it like Bone Alone, and even the wolf's mouth moves when it's stuck?
Even better.
That would be incredible.
I mean,
Just killed it. How do we end this episode? How do we know when we're finished?
That's what he said. She said.
how do we know? How do we know when we're done? Will his eyes go yellow?
Good question.
Interesting. I assume so.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
they're cutting out so many
That would be
weird little
that would be-
things.
That would be really weird if that didn't happen.
I'm sure he would disagree. It'd be really weird if it did happen to him in the first place.
They cut out the yellow eyes, but not the talking wolves.
Listen, yellow eyes, that's ridiculous. His name is Parent Golden Eyes in the books. None of that.
Yeah, can't get rid
Talking
of that.
to wolves, however, I'm thinking Bone Alone. Have you seen it?
It's a
That was
classic.
Rafe's pitch at first. Like, you know, we can do this. We don't even need that much money. Take a look at this movie.
Land fucks up, and I don't like it. That's my main note about Land from both episode 1 and 2. His constantly like, "Hey, we should get out of here," as in like, "Hey, fuck this village." And I'm just like, "What are you doing?" And then like the Shadow Logoth thing, and she's like, "You've killed us. You've murdered us." I'm like, "What the fuck? Land is Batman. What is happening right now?"
Yeah, he's like leveled down, and I don't like it.
No.
Yeah, I don't like, and it's not that I want him to be like flawless, but I do.
And also,
Yeah.
I mean, I need the villagers to be a little more scared of him.
Yeah, that's true. Again, plus,
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. I mean, Rand stands up to Moraine and yells like, "No, tell us what's going on." And then she's like, "We're going here." And then he's like, "And then what?" And then, you know, like that whole scene.
And then he says he wants
And
some
then he's
wonton
like-
soup, and then she's like, "And then what?" And then he says, "And then the fortune cookies,"
then
and
he's-
she's like, "And then what?" He's like, "And then put it in a bag and put it in my hands. 'Cause
I
I'm
don't
ready
fucking
to eat."
know. You nailed it. You got it.
That's all I could think about while I was watching that scene today. It's like, and then
I just like, but
Yeah.
he literally insults Land in that moment. Like he would never do that in the books. Like if he had been like, "And Land's just this piece of shit whipping boy," Land would have been like, "What the fuck did you just say?" I will,
Yeah, we haven't had
I
any
will
sword
tell you the
training
difference.
either.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's another thing. Well, yeah. Well, I assume that will come later.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's one
But
of
how
the things
much
that kind of
later?
builds a
Yeah.
little bit of rapport and gives them some level of like, not just some dickhead walking around with a sword. Like he's been trained, you know, again, for like a week with, not enough, but
Yeah,
with-
like Lan has that like, I want to take care of this kid,
Oh, he
Yeah,
not
hasn't
knowing
been-
which one of them it is at the time, and just like I want to take care of these kids because they're at some point going to have to fucking figure life out real fast.
I just realized he hasn't been training them while they're on the run. I guess we're going to get like a Karate Kid style montage of that at some point.
It's actually going to be more Wet Hot American style, summer style. It's going to be some.
Yeah, it's going to be like 80s montage. It's going to be like dan,
yeah,
dan, dan, dan.
All right, wrap it up.
Good advice.
Well, I mean, you know, Matt and the Dagger seems far less stupid, I would say. And I literally wrote in my notes, Jono rants about the Dagger's Ruby location.
I didn't. I just.
I mean, we've done that.
Although I did rant about kind of like personally a little confused why it's just in a small chest in a small little area as opposed to somewhere a little more interesting. But you know, and with a giant treasure pile. But again, I'll let that shit go. That doesn't bother me too much.
So, are you wrapping this up, or am
No,
I? Because we had a problem.
One of you do it. One of you do it. I have to pee.
So that's tWoTcast for this week. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and in theory, we'll get to responding to them at some point in time in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
The best way to contact us is on Twitter at tWoTcast. You can listen to the show wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube.
Wherever you get your YouTube.
Unbeknownst to anybody that's watching this currently.
That's just youtube.com.
tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by Taffy Bennington at Sing with Taffy on Twitter and Anarchy 101 on YouTube, and also everyone's favorite musician on Twitter of time, Andrew at Andrew Genhold on Twitter and Andrew Bar of Time on YouTube. Links to both of those people's lovely content is below in the description. Join us next week, and by week I mean tomorrow.
Yeah.
Join us next
episode.
Join us tomorrow.
How about that? Join us next episode for more Wheel of Time content covering our spoiler review of episode 3 of the Wheel of Time. Fuck yeah. Yes. Can't wait.
Yeah, join the Patreon before you come back tomorrow. We need money.
Yeah, give us
I'm
money.
joking.
We need all the money.
Yeah, it's got to be the holidays, which means I have to buy a lot of expensive alcohol.
Did it freeze again?
That's okay.
When did you lose me? When did you lose me?
I heard you the whole time.
Nah, I'm assuming you were trying to say our names and say goodnight.
Oh, I said I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono.
Oh, good job. And Tom.
Study your math. We didn't even play the Buzz McAllister thing.
What?
Fuck. You're
Keep
right.
the change, you filthy animals. There's a Buzz McAllister thing?
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.